Good morning. Welcome to Morning Musings with Amelia from Dodona Coaching. I am your Big Dreams Achievement Coach. And we are pulling, excuse my dogs, we are pulling a card from Alana Fairchild Sacred Rebels Oracle deck and seeing what the universe has to say for us today when it comes to going for your big dream. And what that means is what it takes to live your authentic life, doing the things that you're interested in, and staying on a path that is authentic to who you are, who you want to be, and not letting outside influences derail you, take up space and get you to the point where you're waking up going, really, this is life. This is all there is. No, we want you to wake up in the morning and go, this is life. This is what it is. This is very cool stuff. And be excited. And granted, that doesn't happen every single day. You have those days where you're like, oh, I wish I could sleep in. But for the most part, every day is a step forward into a life that you love, and you don't have, thoughts that run through your head that I've personally had, that are not good, that, make people worry. So, just sitting here as I'm shuffling the cards, asking the universe to provide some kind of insight for today, as to what we need to hear, what everybody who is listening to this needs to hear as you move forward in this day, going for your big dreams. So we'll give the cards a couple more shuffles and we'll see what shows up. Okay, one more shuffle, and there we go. I think we have our card. All right, let's look what that looks like. Collaborative dreaming. Aren't these cards beautiful? I think they're just beautiful. Collaborative dreaming. Let me pull that up in the book. Let's see. Collaborative dreaming. Here we go. All right, let's go. Your heart is big enough to dream, not only for yourself, but for a new humanity. Imagine a world that is healed with respect, understanding, and with community that fosters life. Even your dreams that relate to you alone will contribute positively to the greater good, because that is the nature of your heart. Your heart naturally and intelligently cooperates in a grand scheme of loving creativity, working to heal the hearts of the world. The heart creates win-win situations that benefit the individual and the collective. You are being asked to honor your growing desire to co-create with conscious, like-minded people. Your collaborative dreaming is a heart-inspired win-win, bringing mutual enhancement to yourself and others. The heart wants to love and be loved. Working with others creatively is a way to allow the heart to grow. It is a chance for you to learn how to honor yourself and others, and to find ways to live and let live simply by growing and strengthening your active trust in your heart's guidance. You are asked to bear the rough patches that can happen when you work creatively with others. Ideas might clash, and there can be friction, particularly if you have different ways of working. Sometimes big dreams need more fire to ignite them into reality. More fire might require more friction along the creative path. It is not meant to be a permanent condition, just an aspect of the creative process from which you can learn something useful if you wish. Your guidance to embrace any experiences of friction, or excuse me, I read that incorrectly. Your guidance is to embrace any experiences of friction or tension within yourself or as you work with another, with compassion, detachment, and tolerance. Creative endeavors, particularly involving groups, can bring up unresolved issues about being valued, heard, or capable. They can also trigger disputes about taking responsibility or inflame insecurities about being cast into unfamiliar roles of leadership or of having to follow. This might happen for you, for others, or for all involved. The stronger the creative energy that flows, the more likely that triggering will take place. It is the nature of creative energy to move in all directions. It doesn't just want to grow one project. Everything that comes into contact with it will grow. That means the art and the artists are in the process of creation. This can be smooth, but it is more likely to be rough sailing, at least at times. This is not a sign that something isn't working. Far from it. It is more usually a sign that growth is happening and you are feeling the growing pains. This oracle is guiding you to stay in your integrity. Honor what you feel and remember why you chose to open up to group endeavors in the first place, especially if the group involvement becomes complex or challenging. Call on unconditional love each day and evening. It only takes a moment to do. I call on unconditional love. Please help and guide me and this project. You are going through this experience or will be in the near future because you are part of a new creative learning program for humanity. This learning program is taking place at a spiritual level, and it requires highly individualistic and creative people to learn to work with each other without compromising who they are in order to reach a common creative goal. It is a wonderful, important, and challenging creative and spiritual work. You need a strong sense of self to be able to engage in the process and not lose your voice during the journey. You need a strong enough sense of self to be flexible and know when to bend rather than break. You have to intuit what is going to be a good, heart-inspired sacrifice for the greater good and when you will need to stay true to your own voice for the greater good. Only the heart can guide you on these matters, and others may not always agree with your instincts, and vice versa. That is part of the challenge of staying present so that the friction created can be channeled into creative energy rather than lost in emotional turmoil. Please remember that please remember that what really matters is that you hear your own voice. Others may or may not be able to receive it. When you hear your own voice, you will be able to connect with your heart truths. You will know when it is right to remain in a group or when you need to withdraw in order to work with others who resonate at a more appropriate vibration and perhaps more in harmony with your own. Not every collaboration will be long term. Sometimes the learning will be short, sharp, and possibly even painful before it turns into the wisdom that is gained from experience. At other times, the journey will be more loving, supportive, and harmonious. This is neither better nor worse, just different. This oracle comes with a particular guidance for you at this phase of your life path and creative journey. You are no longer to think of yourself as the lone wolf. Yes, you have your unique path to tread, but you now have tasks to accomplish for your own growth and the greater good that require more than a one-man band. You will still do your own work, of course. However, others are on the way to help you. There is only so much a single drop of water can do on its own, though it is precious. Together, those drops can become a wave and make a considerable impact in the world. You are a part of a wave of loving consciousness, and you are meant to be exploring collaborative dreams, healing relationships, and conscious communities. Some connections will be short-lived and perhaps involve some learning experiences that you are hopeful of never needing to repeat. Others will be longer-term loves. Either way, you will emerge more of yourself and more in connection with the world that wants your ideas, presence, energy, and light. This oracle brings a message to those of you that are involved in a group and are struggling over whether to continue or to let it go and move on. You are asked to trust your heart and not to allow any group to become more powerful than the wisdom of your own heart. Always allow the sacred rebel within you to question authority. Is it loving and wise authority? Or is it coming from a place of fear-based control? Look to your heart's wisdom to discern whether your involvement in a group is healthy or not. Sometimes a group can only receive so much of our energy before it is time to move on. Sometimes a group is not receiving us at all, but we feel that we are meant to be a guiding hand in it for a period of time before our heart urges us to let go. Ask for guidance. Do the healing process below and trust in the feelings that become clear to you over time. You will know what to do, and you must always trust your own voice above any other. Collaborative. You're learning, growing. Let's go ahead and do that healing process, right? Big breath. Maybe a yawn. It's early. This is morning musings. All right, the healing process. Imagine a chain of paper dolls, all connected, forming a circle. Imagine that circular chain of paper dolls can be filled with beautiful golden light, which begins in the heart of each paper doll. The light shines out and shimmers, making the paper dolls radiant, shining, and golden. Imagine a feeling of love, connection, help, and goodwill shining along with the golden light. Stay with that image or feeling as long as feels good for you. Then simply open your eyes and you have completed your healing process. Nice. So what this brought up for me, as we were reading it, as I was reading it, was the concept of shift storms. Getting together, working with people, growing, doing new things, learning new wisdoms. In 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 my group, in my group goals boot camp, we came up with this idea of shift storms. Take the F out, you'll get it. And this idea is that when you shift something in your life, when you start doing something new, shifts happen. Things come in, obstacles show up, the rug gets pulled out from underneath you. And this is all because you shifted. You're doing something different. And so those around you have to shift with you, and they may or may not like it. But you also have to shift. You also have to change what you're doing, right? In order to make the shift that you're doing. Which means that tools you had previously used on a regular basis may or may not be the tools you need now. So they could be cluttering up. Like the things you used to do may be in your way. Like, I'm used to doing it this way, but I'm not doing this over here anymore. I'm doing this over here, and I don't need this. I need this, right? And you have to learn, and it's a time for decluttering. It's a time for really assessing what's working in your life and what's not working in your life. And it's a shift, right? Think about when you've remodeled your house or just gone and shifted the furniture around, right? To make it feel better or flow better, right? You might find that there are pieces that you have that don't fit within that flow anymore. So you get rid of them, you get new ones if need be, or you just get rid of them because you don't need them anymore. It's the same process when you're going for your big dreams. When you're what got you here isn't necessarily what's going to get you there, right? So it's about realizing that and taking these obstacles that show up, taking the shift storms that show up, the rug being pulled out from underneath you, as opportunities to declutter, to get really clear on what it is that you want in your life, to create new goals and dreams, and to fertilize the new growth. That's really important, is you take the shift without the F and turn it into fertilizer. And then the new growth can happen, and it's nourished and it's wonderful from all the crap that came before. This beautiful thing comes from. And you're not alone. It's collaborative. Everything we do is collaborative. We are humans. We are not solitary beings. We live in community. Whether we're out in the sticks, not near anybody. We're still in community with the earth, with the land, with the animals. We're in community here. And it's really important to work together collaboratively, to find new perspectives. When you're working with somebody else, they look at something slightly different than you do, maybe even completely opposite than you. And it's worth it to open up to see what their point of view is. You still may not agree with it, but at least you have some understanding of what they're seeing over here. My dad used to say, it's like putting a Coca-Cola can in between the two of us. We'd sit on opposite sides, and he, this was the example. He'd ask me, "What do you see?" And I'd say, "Well, I see the Coca-Cola logo." And he goes, "No, there's a barcode on it. We're looking at the same thing, just completely opposite." So where I see the red can with the logo, he sees a red can with a barcode on it and nutritional information. It's the same can. It has the same stuff inside of it, but we see it completely different. And so if I can walk over and see his side, and he can walk over and see my side and realize that it's the same can, then we can have a conversation. Then we can start talking about it. It's like, oh, we are talking about, this is just a different aspect of it that I've never seen before because I'm over here staring at the logo. I've never seen the barcode. I've never seen the nutritional information. So I think Coca-Cola is good for you. And I love Coca-Cola, by the way. Just I'm a collector, so but he's like going, oh my God, there's so much sugar. There's so much this, there's so much salt, there's why would you drink that? Because it's good, it's yummy, it's tasty. And then you go, oh, wait a minute, maybe it is. And he's like, oh, maybe it is, right? And so then you go into the moderation kind of thing. Anyway, that's what Coca-Cola. But so as you're going into the day, if there are any little shift storms, if there are any little tweaks in your day that bring up triggers, as this said, brings up the triggers. If you can, step back a moment and ask yourself, where is the opportunity? What am I learning from this? How is this helping me grow? Is this an opportunity to release something that no longer works? Is this an opportunity to learn a new perspective? Is this fertilizing my growth? How is this helping me? Because all the obstacles are to help you. As Tony Robbins says, the universe is conspiring for you, not against you. It's happening for you. That's what he says. It's happening for you, not to you. So with that in mind, keep that in mind as you're going forward to today. That's the message I get from it. And I always forget this. So please, if you're enjoying these, please like and subscribe, hit those little buttons. And I will be back to you tomorrow. And yeah, so as we move into the day, just remember your growth is happening and your dream is very important. And what you enjoy doing is perfectly okay. And the obstacles will show up. And it's for your growth. So I will leave you with that. And just remember, Keep your eyes on the horizon, your hands on the wheel, and your foot on the gas, baby. Let's do this.